What's up, everybody? This is the Oklahoma Prepper, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to get started prepping. Alright, I was recently asked by a fellow YouTuber about, and he's a prepper. Let me pull his information up real quick so I can get it, because I don't want to inaccurately give you the wrong information. He was in a live stream. He's a really awesome guy. I really like his videos. He's a very, very good person, and he asked me, Oklahoma Prepper, how do you get started prepping? And I said, just do it. And he said, don't. No. You're talking to somebody that doesn't know anything about prepping, about how to get started prepping. I want your input on how to get started prepping. And his channel, by the way, is Keeping It Dutch, and I will put there is a link in the description to his channel, and he's a fellow Okie. So he said, no, you're not talking to somebody that knows anything about prepping. You're talking about somebody that doesn't know anything about prepping. How do you get started prepping? I said, all right, YouTube. Research is there and it's free. He said, no, this person does not know anything about YouTube. That really got me to thinking, and honestly, I was stumped. How do you get started prepping? Well, one of the first things that you want to do is learn how to hunt, fish, start fires, and all that stuff without anything. I can do it, and that's saying a lot. So, first thing you want to do is you want enough water that's going to last you for a couple of days. At least, at the very bare minimum, a couple of days of water. So, ideal intake for water is 1 gallon of water a day. So you'll want at least, I'm going to very bare minimum of 5 gallons of water. And that's for a survival situation. That's actually not for a prepping situation. In a prepping situation, you want to replace all your furniture with 55-gallon drum barrels of water. So, you want to get rid of your bed frame, sell it, make money off of it, cut it up for firewood, whatever you got to do to get rid of it, get rid of it. What you want to do, and that's the best thing I can think of to utilize space, is 55-gallon drum barrels of water. Your bed's going to sit high off the ground, but at least you're going to have a lot of space that's not wasted. You want to store as much water as possible. You want to be able to survive as long as you can on your own. Probably step 2 would be store food, and I'm not talking about go out and buy a bunch of TV dinners and stuff like that. In a real scenario, and I prep for tornadoes, wildfires, natural disasters like that could easily knock out our power system, our electrical system. So you want to get as much freeze-dried or dehydrated food as possible, and non-perishable foods such as canned or preserved foods, such like canned foods. You can do your own, and that's what I intend on doing later on in the future. You can actually make anything that you have for dinner. Say, for example, if I had spaghetti for dinner, I could put it on the dehydrator, real thin, dehydrate it overnight, just like you would beef jerky, and store it in a vacuum seal container. That is very, very efficient and very cost effective. So you can make as much as you want and store it. You can actually be able to buy in bulk when it's cheaper and store it longer. So it's actually going to work out in the end, in the long run. So we've got two things covered. We've got food and water. And really quick, on the water situation, you have to take into consideration the water that you're going to be using to cook with. That will still give you a little bit of hydration, but not as much as absolute water will. Be sure to store and prep salt, because your body does need salt to make you have to have salt to live. So make sure you prep salt. Next thing I want to get on the idea of is shelter. You want to be able to learn how to create a shelter from a tarp, some string, and some sticks. And if you've seen my videos before, you can check out some of my videos. Survival Shelter Sunday, which I will leave a link in the description below as well for one of my Survival Shelter Sunday videos on how to make shelter out of tarp, string, and some trees. So you've got shelter. We've got shelter covered. And we're going to go by the rules of the threes on here. 3 hours. Let's see. 3 minutes without air. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food. 3 hours without sufficient shelter and inclement weather. Okay. So there's different ways you can make shelters, and I do have a couple of ways down below in the description on my Survival Shelter Sunday videos. But sometimes shelter is not enough. You have to be able to insulate yourself. You can insulate yourself using, you get clothes, get enough winter clothes and winter sleeping bags, stuff like that to sustain you over a long period of time, and be able to make fire. The best thing you could ever do, ideally, is to have a lighter. Any kind of lighter to get a fire going would be amazing. If you for some reason don't have a lighter, or the fluid in your lighter runs out, a ferrocerium rod, matches, anything that you can use to start a fire with is more than enough to help you out. So, you can take 2 sticks and rub them together. I will put a link in the description on how to make a bow drill. There's a link in the description on how to make and use a bow drill. So check out that link. So you've got shelter, you've got water, food, and heat covered. One of the things a lot of people don't realize is, it's hot. It gets hot in the summer, especially in Oklahoma. It gets real hot. You want to be able to stay cool in the summer. You want to be able to utilize your energy in the most efficient way possible during the summer. Take frequent short breaks. Keep yourself hydrated. Try to stay cool as long as possible. If that means getting in the creek and cooling off in the water, then do it. Whatever you have to do to keep yourself cool and to save as much energy as possible. So, those are your basic rules of 3 to survive. 3 minutes without, I haven't got to the air part yet, and I will. But anyways, 3 hours in harsh conditions without proper shelter. 3 days without water, and I believe it's weeks without food. It could be months, I'm not quite sure. But those are some of the ideal things that you want to do to get started prepping. Without those basic three, the rules of the threes, and it's very important to remember, is without those basic rules of the threes, you will not survive in a long-term situation. Whether it be a hiking accident, whether it be, the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, whether it be tornadoes just came through and ripped your house apart, and you live out in the middle of nowhere, and you don't have anybody to come out and check on you. You've got to be able to sustain yourself. And I know a lot of people right now are thinking, well, there's ways around that. If a tornado hits you and you live about 20 miles away from town, well, one of the big things that happened in Oklahoma City a few years ago is there were several survivors that were trapped in their storm shelter and couldn't get out, and actually a few of them drowned in their storm shelters when their shelters started to flood. So there were a bunch of people in Oklahoma City that were trapped in their storm shelters, their storm cellars, that could not get out, and a few of them drowned in flooding while their storm shelter flooded. So you have to take into consideration those things as well. If you're going to prepare, if you're going to prep for anything, if you're going to get a storm shelter, make sure you're able to not be in a flood area, so that you can make it out safe to see your friends and family and loved ones. So that being said, I want to say that no matter what, you can get through anything if you are prepared for it. So check out the links in the videos. So make sure that your storm shelter is been prepared for flood drainage, so that you guys can live. So much for checking out this video. If you like this video that you just saw and you want to see more, be sure to check everything else down in the suggestions, or just go to my page, check out my videos. They're all there. If you are not yet a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. I hope that I can satisfy your interests in prepping. Be sure to leave a comment, because I definitely love to hear from my followers. And if you have any suggestions for more videos, be sure to leave a comment as to what you'd like to see, and I will get to it. And I will personally thank you for those comments and those suggestions for the videos. So that being said, everybody stay safe and keep prepping.